and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm very excited to have you here. Today we are going to be filling my TBR cart. So this is going to be my March TBR cart, and I did have a TBR cart previously, but I never used it, and then when I did use it as a TBR cart, I never followed it, and then it slowly turned into a junk cart, and it was a pain in the neck, and I just had a bunch of junk on it. So I cleaned it off, and now we are going to just go through my bookshelves together and find some books that I would love to read through March. So I guess technically this is my March TBR as well. So without further ado, let's get into this. So as you can see, I rearranged my bookshelves for the 90th time. So right now I just have this little shelf here with like my Disney books on it, and then just like Legendborn here just because it didn't fit on the red shelf, and then this book that's rainbow that I just cannot choose where I would like it to be. And then I have this puzzle, and then these Pride and Prejudice and Horton's Miraculous Mechanisms, and then my graphic novels here, and then Bill Nye and this little teapot. But the rest of them are done in color, so I'm just going to kind of go through them by color and kind of see what books I'd like to read. So let's do it. So I'm probably just going to fast forward through me looking through my books, and I will pick out a couple from each color section and then just talk about them. So let's do it. Four books out of my red section, and I'm just going to talk about them a little bit and tell you what they're about and maybe why I picked them. I don't really know. This is a new concept on my channel and I'm a little nervous about it. First one I chose was the Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is slowly becoming one of my favorite romance duos. They are just, I've loved every book I've read by them. I have read The Unhoneymooners, which I absolutely loved, and I believe Jack and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating? Is that the name of the book? I don't remember. But that book I read as well, and I absolutely loved it. It was so cute, and I loved Hazel's character absolutely so much. So I'm really excited to be able to get a hold of this book. This book follows a HGTV style couple, and they go house to house and renovate, and I believe they have a show as well, and it follows them and their assistant and kind of their relationships through it. And I don't really know, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I've heard everybody that I've known that have read it has absolutely loved it, so I'm very excited to give it a try. The next one I have is The Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. So the main reason I picked this one up is because I have to write a book report on it for my YA literature class, so I am going to be reading this book for my YA lit class. I don't really know what it's about, but I have a vague idea. I believe it's about a boy who summons a ghost, and the ghost falls in love with him, and it's kind of like a paranormal romance, I believe, but I don't think so. But yes, I'm very excited for this one. I've heard really great things from it from everybody who's read it, so I'm really hoping I enjoy it. The next one I have is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Gilroy. So I've been seeing this book everywhere, and I'm not sure if it's because it's February and people are just in the lovey-dovey romance mood, but this book follows a girl who meets this guy in the elevator, and they decide to go to a wedding together, and that's just start of a romance. You know it. So I'm hoping this is as cute as everybody is saying it is, and I'm hoping I enjoy it a lot, but you never know really with Jasmine Gilroy. Some people love her books and some people hate her books, and some people are like a mixture of the in-between. They love some of them, they hate some of them, so I'm hoping I like it. And the final red one I have is The Final Girls by Riley Sager. So I absolutely love Riley Sager. I don't think I've read a book by him that I didn't enjoy, but I'm really excited for The Final Girls. He has actually a new book coming out in July, which I'm so stoked for. But this one follows a girl who is one of the final girls. So she was kind of the lone survivor of a mass murder, and because of this, she is kind of part of this final people club. And when the people of the final people club start to go missing, she becomes really worried, and it's just a big old fun drama. And I'm very excited for it because I love Riley Sager. He's so fun. I'm excited for this one too. Alright, let's go fill this card up some more. Okay, so I got about through my brown shelf, some of my green shelves, my yellow shelf, and a little bit of my blue shelf. So these are the books I picked out. Let's talk about them. So the first one I have is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. So this book is, I believe, a historical fiction about this girl who is obsessed with Jack the Ripper. I'm not 100% sure, and I haven't really read into it all that much, but this book came out a couple years ago, and everybody who I know that have read it has just absolutely loved it. It's been literally thebomb.com. But I'm super excited for me to get a hold of it because I just hear it's so good, and that makes me want to read it. And I've been enjoying historical fiction a lot, and I also enjoy serial killers type of things, murders, and obviously Jack the Ripper, murder. Put them both together. So I'm very excited for this one. The next one I have is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zepeda. So this book follows a girl who is this very famous comic book author online, but when this kind of follows her outside of her online life, it kind of starts to change her life. And I'm very excited for this one, and it's also filled with like these cute little comics, which I feel like just adds so much to the story, and I'm very excited for this book. I hear everybody who has read it has said it's super cute. I believe I got this recommendation over at Haley and Bookland. Haley talked about it a lot in one of her reading vlogs, and I absolutely was so excited to read it just because of the way she seems so enthusiastic about it and how much she enjoyed it, so I'm very excited to read it. The next one I have is the Gilded Ones by Namina Forma. But this book follows a tribal of girls, and every year when they turn 16, I guess not every year, they get their blood drawn, and if their blood runs red. You guys ever try to film and then your cat just decides to be a grade A jerk? Because that's what's happening right now. But anywhoozles, this book is about a girl who, at her tribal ceremony to kind of become a woman, I believe, she has to bleed red in order to kind of become one of their tribe, but if she bleeds gold, she becomes a kind of demon, an outsider, and on the day of the ceremony, she bleeds gold, which means she's an outsider, she's a demon, she will be killed. And because of this, there's this lady who takes in all these girls who bleed gold, and they lead them to this special place, and they are now part of the Emperor's army. Now, honestly, this seems like a really cool concept, and I think it's going to be very great. My friend Allie over at Book Binge did an amazing review on this book, so if you're interested in learning a little more about this book, make sure you head over to her channel because she is so sweet and you would love her video, I promise. The next book I have is The Takedown by Corey Wang. So this book follows a girl who is very popular, on the run to being like the most popular girl ever, valedictorian, you know, but she is caught online. Someone posts a video of her doing it with her English teacher, so obviously that's a huge scandal. You can't be valedictorian if you have like this scandal against you. So she's doing everything in her power to get it taken down, but the internet, y'all, once it's there, you never get it taken down all the way. So that's the book about that. I think this is very interesting, especially in a society now where we depend so much more on the internet. So I'm very excited to learn about it. And the very last book I have in this one is Group by Christy Tate. This is a memoir, and it follows her basically through her experience in group therapy and how it helped her. And I thought this book would be very interesting to read just because I personally know I went through group therapy in one of my psychology classes, and I know it helped me tremendously with some things that I was keeping in, and I just think therapy, everybody needs a little bit of it, and we all just gotta accept it and move on with our lives. But I'm very excited to get to this. It's not very long of a book either. It's 270 pages, so I'm very excited for it. All right, take 3. Of the stack of books that I have chose, so let's talk about them. So the first book I have here is The Memory Thief by Lauren Mancy. So this book follows a girl who can steal people's memories. Amazing, I know. Also, there's a map, and I'm a sucker for maps. But basically she has to like save her mother from like this, I think like universal jail or something like that, and in order to get there she has to like prove her worth, and I don't know, but it sounds amazing and I'm excited. The next one I have here is The Cousins by Karen M. McMahon. So this book follows a family who decides to send all of their children to this vacant island that their mother lives on, but none of these kids have ever met this grandmother, which is like super weird, and they decide to send their kids there. But they notice from the get-go something very strange is going on in this island, and they can't really put their finger on it, and it's just, they learn a lot of secrets about their family, and I hear it's kind of creepy, but we'll kind of see. I haven't read anything by Karen McMahon before. I do own the, what was it called? One of Us is Lying. I do own that, but I have not read it yet, so we'll see if I like this one. I'm not sure if I will, but I'm hoping I do just because of the hype that is going around about it. The next book I have is Hair by Kiera Cass. That took a second to get out. So this is the fourth book to the Selection series, and I've been wanting to finish the series. The last book was kind of all expected. It was 3 books long to get there. And this is from, I believe this is about, yeah, 20 years ago her mother won the crown. So this is about Prince Maxwell and then the princess who was chosen's child. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I did enjoy Maxwell's relationship with America throughout the first 3 books. And I just don't know how the winner of the selection and Prince Maxwell child will get along with that. I just don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, so fingers crossed for me. The next book I have here is The Proposal by Jasmine Gilroy. So this book follows a girl who goes to a Dodgers game with her very hip, hipster, man-bun boyfriend, and she meets this other guy there, and quote unquote filled with fun, food, and fantastic sex. But with their glorified hookups start breaking the rules, one of them has to be smart enough to put on the brakes. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna read this one next month or maybe in April, because it's kind of a baseball centered story, and I definitely feel like that's something that probably should wait till baseball season. But I'm not really sure yet, but I'll definitely want to read it. I think it's gonna be such a cute story, especially just what it is written about on the back. It just looks so fun, and I love baseball, so. The next book I have here is Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner. So this book follows a girl who is deaf, and she goes to this special school for the deaf, but when she gets kicked out, she is forced to go to this traditional school without any help, and kind of is the only deaf person there. So she has a refuge in graffiti, and I'm very excited for this book because I think it'll show me a lot of the discrimination that deaf people face in the typical school system, and I also am excited to see how she uses graffiti to kind of conquer these emotions, and I just think it's going to be so good, and I'm really excited for it. The next one I have is Bunny by Mona Awad. So I've been seeing this book everywhere, and I'm thinking about doing a buddy read with it next month. So if any of you guys are interested in buddy reading, please let me know. But this book follows this cult type group of girls that call themselves bunnies. And I don't really know much about it, literally, other than it's about a cult, and I don't have to hear anything else other than it's about a cult to be drug in. I'm excited. So the next book I have is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. I hope I'm reading that correctly. So from what I understand, this book is a memoir about serving life sentences in prison, and I seen this on Book of the Month, and it was from May 2018 as an add-on, and I was like, oh my god, this sounds incredibly interesting, because the prison system to me is so jacked in the States. Not to mention there are so many real-life prison documentaries like Jailbirds on Netflix that is just fantastic, highly recommend. But this I feel like will give me a definite in-depth version of kind of what it's like to be a woman in the prison systems, because they are so deprived of simple pleasures like feminine products is something you need, and in prison, especially in the States, you are so deprived of things like that. So I'm very excited to see where this book takes us, kind of see her story, and I'm just super excited for it. The next book I have is The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. So the main reason I picked this book was because I have to read it for my YLIT class this semester. So from what I understand, this book is about a child who shoved a gun in his pants and decided he was going to go kill his brother's murderer. Okay. Am I here for it? Absolutely. I'm very excited for this. I think it's gonna definitely bring some view to the gang violence we see every day on the streets, and I think it'll definitely show you what the family, especially the younger siblings, go through when things like that happen in their family. Overall, I'm so excited for this book, and I really hope it's everything that I'm expecting it to be. The next one I have is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. So I've had this book on my TBR for quite a while as well, and at this point I'm just trying to get through all the books on my shelves so I can go buy new books, because if that doesn't tell you who I am as a person, I don't know what does. So this book is about a girl. It is about a girl who decides to go live with her grandmother in Nebraska, and one by one the students of her small town high school begin to die in a series of gruesome murders. That's all I needed to hear. And I really love stories about murders and serial killers and things like that, like I said, and prisons are just so interesting to me, so I'm super excited to read this one as well. The next one I have is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. So this book is also a read for my YA Lit course, but I also want to read Dear Justice as well. So this one is about Martin, which Martin is Justice's good friend. So Martin is living this life where he just is grappling with police brutality and racism, and he's not understanding why Justice, his really good friend, who is an honor roll student, is an amazing friend, why is he in handcuffs just because he's black, in the wrong place, wrong time. I am so excited for this book, and after I read this book, I definitely want to read Dear Justice, because I just really like to immerse myself in this and just be able to understand it a little bit more. So I'm very excited to be able to hear Justice's story, and I'm super stoked. But really, all in all, I'm just really hoping it'll teach me a little bit. That's really what I read for, is to be able to teach me things, and I just would like to understand a little bit more about what they go through, and I'm hoping this will give it to me. And the very last book I have is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. So my sister got me this for Christmas, so shout out to my sister. But this book is Twilight from Edward's point of view, and I've heard some really great things about it. So I hear that Stephanie Meyer's writing has definitely gotten a lot better, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into any of her writing since Twilight, so I'm very excited to dig into it and kind of see Edward's point of view and where Edward came from, because I think we don't see very much of the vampires' past, only bits and pieces of kind of what daily life looks like for them. So I'm very excited for Midnight Sun. Alright, so that is going to be the end of this TBR video. I am going to put together this cart by color coordination, and then I'll be right back. So if you're wondering why I don't fill the top of this, it's because my cats like to lay on it when I am working on my desk, because this sits right next to my desk. So I just put some blankets on the top of there and my cats sleep on it. So if you're wondering why there's not anything on top of there, that's why. Alright, so that is going to be the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed building this cart with me. I know this is quite a big TBR, so this might run into April, but we will see. I don't know how good my reading is going to be, because I've just been not having a great time personally with reading. But I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a super big thumbs up, and make sure you comment down below and tell me if you've read any of these books, or if you have a TBR cart. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a subscribe to my channel. I upload every Monday and Thursday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, and make sure you click that little bell notification to get notified every single time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video.